When I say that I'm a meditation guide, most people tell me that they want to meditate, but they can't stop thinking. This is one of the most common misconceptions about meditation, and also one of the reasons why I personally struggled with my practice for a long time. Meditation is not about controlling our thoughts. The truth is, we can't control our thoughts, and we don't need to. So then, what do we do about our busy minds during meditation? That's what I'll be getting into in this video. I have a guided meditation that can support you to release control of your thoughts during meditation. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. So I'm sure you've heard the famous saying, whatever you resist persists. When we think that we shouldn't be thinking during meditation, automatically we create a resistance towards our thoughts. So when we sit in meditation and we keep thinking, we become frustrated because we don't want to be thinking, we want them to go away. The practice becomes very forceful, and we also get discouraged because it's not possible for us to force our thoughts away. Meditation isn't about controlling our thoughts. It's about being aware of our thoughts. So when you notice that your mind is busy, that your thoughts keep coming back, you're doing a great job. That is the practice of meditation, of noticing your thoughts. The reason we practice awareness during meditation is because normally throughout the day, we're completely unaware of our thoughts. That's why we sit across from someone in conversation and we miss huge chunks of what they've said. That's why we go about our day on autopilot and we can't remember some of the things that we've done. We're so lost in thought that we're not actually present for our lives. And that's what we're trying to change during meditation. We're trying to develop that muscle of awareness so that we become aware of our thoughts and we can be more present for our lives. So you may be wondering, if we don't try to force our thoughts away, then how do we quiet the mind? Well, that's where awareness comes in. As soon as you become aware that you're thinking, your awareness breaks the chain of thought. It happens naturally and simultaneously without any effort on your part. As soon as we become aware, we immediately stop thinking. It may only be for a second, but that's the power of awareness. And that's why in meditation, there's no need for us to force or control our thoughts. I mentioned this in my previous video where I talk about meditation as a practice of non-doing. If you're interested, you can check out that video as well. So I like to think of thoughts as bubbles, and awareness bursts those bubbles. And our mind is full of bubbles. It's a nonstop free flow of bubbles. And the practice of meditation is to become aware of those bubbles, noticing the constant stream of thoughts in our mind. We can't always be aware, but we can practice. And with practice, we learn that as soon as we're aware of a thought and that thought dissipates, the bubble bursts, we find ourselves in the present moment. We find ourselves in that space between thoughts. We don't need to control our thoughts. We don't need to force ourselves to be in the present moment. Everything happens naturally and automatically through our awareness. So in the practice of meditation, thoughts arise again and again. The bubbles keep coming back, and we just keep noticing again and again. And as we do that, we practice returning to the present moment again and again. And over time, as you continue your practice, you find that the space between thoughts becomes longer, that you're able to stay in the present moment for longer. But again, this doesn't happen by force, this happens naturally. So meditation is teaching us that we can't be present, we can't be at peace or at ease by force or control. All that's required is our awareness. And the countless benefits of meditation are simply byproducts of that awareness. So this year I started practicing Vipassana meditation, and in this practice, they often use the expression that we are the master of our minds. And I think that when we think of master, there's this stereotypical image of someone with power, force, control. And meditation actually teaches us that being the master of our minds actually requires qualities that are the complete opposite. It requires observation, allowing, and compassion. And I think compassion is a really important piece in our meditation practice. When we try to force our thoughts away, our practice becomes very rigid and it becomes very frustrating and challenging. And it can really lead to a lot of criticism and judgment about our own practice. We can start to think that we're not good at meditating, that this isn't for us, that we just can't get it right. But in those moments, can we replace that negativity with compassion? Instead of controlling and criticizing our practice, can we be compassionate and accept it as it is? So, my Vipassana teacher says that if you find yourself in thought, you just say, "Oh, I'm thinking again," and you move on. There's no need to be cruel or judgmental about your practice. It's really seeing if we can continue to be compassionate with ourselves when we keep getting lost in thought. We keep going to the past, to the future, and we struggle to stay in the present moment. Can we just allow and accept our practice as it is and just continue to practice with compassion? And I used to be really judgmental about my practice. I really wanted to be a good meditator. I wanted to be able to meditate for a long time. I thought that the more I meditated, the more I'd be able to stay present and be free from thoughts. And none of this is true. Every day, your meditation will be different depending on what's happening in your life, how busy your mind is, your stress levels. And I think sitting in meditation is just practicing acceptance, accepting the way your mind is today in this moment, just being compassionate and accepting that no meditation is perfect. And I think that when we're able to be compassionate towards ourselves, that's when our meditation practice starts to become consistent and sustainable. Because meditation isn't this challenging task that you have to return to. It's a soft and allowing space where you simply observe the state of your mind in this moment. I think we're all so used to resorting to force and control because that's the type of world we live in. We have to be proactive, we have to be achievers, and we need to get results. We're very performance driven. And I think that we can apply that approach to meditation as well. But meditation is not a performance, and there's nothing for us to achieve here. So, meditation teaches us that if we want to experience the benefits of the practice, then actually we need to release control. We need to learn to not try so hard, not make so much of an effort, and just relax. And I think that's really challenging for a lot of us because that's not what we're used to. But meditation teaches us that there's no need to be so forceful, there's no need to be so controlling. Awareness is enough to experience the results that we want. And it's okay and actually encouraged to let go.